Hey guys, I'm filming this for my online students who maybe weren't here on first day back for the semester to kind of go over some changes to classes. I've made a few changes to try to help focus on my strengths and maybe help you guys out. I've noticed there's some problems with getting assignments in for a lot of you. Some of that could easily be fixed by just being better at organization. Setting count alarms, having calendars that you keep up to date. But there's some other issues too that I think that maybe I can help you with. So I tried to fix this first semester by having all of our assignments due at the same time on Tuesdays of each week. But I ran into some issues where students were still struggling with what they had to do. And while the OneNote system makes perfect sense to me, I realize for some of you, consistency is a little more important than maybe I realized. So I'm going to try to fix that. I'm also going to lean into something that I've always fought in my 16 years of teaching. I've always wanted to be a more creative teacher that had more interesting and exciting assignments that kids would be a little more interested in doing. The ones you could put on teachers pay teachers and things like that. Not that I'm trying to make money off of it, but just that I could show that I'm a creative teacher. What it comes down to, guys, is I'm not. I'm a lecturer. I love getting up in front of people and talking and sharing what I know, and designing those other assignments just has never been a strength of mine. So I'm going to try to combine these two things and help you guys out. So what we're going to do this quarter, and this is my test quarter. If it keeps working, we'll do it fourth quarter too. If not, we'll rethink it. But there are 3 sections of grades you'll get for your daily grades. Your minimum, and it's probably going to be about this, but you're looking at 12 to 15 daily grades, and I'm going to assume it's going to be closer to 12. You'll have 4 grades that you've already seen before. These are those weekly participation grades, which you already know about, which deal particularly with your attention in class. So the point deductions for that are typically because of 3 behaviors that just drive me nuts. Now, for you guys working at home, that's not going to be a thing. I don't give participation grades at home because, well, you're not in class. So those are guaranteed 100s every time. And while, that may seem like a good thing for you guys, it's not really a fair thing for the students here. So you guys won't worry about that. You're going to be looking more at these other 8 grades, which means yours are going to count more. So you need to really be on top of this, okay? And these are the new things. The first one of these, let me pull it up. It's right here in the background. The first one of these are journal entries, okay? We're going to journal every day from now on, okay? These are the directions. If you were to look in the content library right now, you have journal instructions. You have the first week of journals there. So let's look at the instructions real quick. It says these should be completed daily. This is not intended to be a long assignment, so that's not too much to ask. This should take you anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, to be honest with you, a day. And that is not too much to ask. Now, you can do multiples in a day if you choose to. It works better if you do 1 a day, but I can't police that, all right? So these responses should be a minimum of 8 sentences, but the goal is not to just write 8 sentences. It is to have a complete and detailed thought. So the goal here is to, have something you want to write about and write about it. An 8-sentence minimum, that is. Now, guys, you shouldn't just quit when you get 8 sentences. If you don't, have a complete thought or there's not enough depth there, you're going to lose points, all right? So it may take you longer, all right? Make sure you finish the assignment, not just write 8 sentences. I'm assuming all of you can count to 8 and write a sentence. So this is controlled free writing, so it needs to stay on topic. So you'll start ahead of time writing about something, and you'll continue that. Like for this first week, it's free for all. You can write about anything you want. Something that happened that day, something that stuck out to you, something you saw, something you heard, anything that really for whatever reason made an impression on you. Write about it. Like next week, you'll have a theme. I think next week I'm going to use the term perfection, that term. And you're going to write each day something different that helps you build. Like maybe you want to write about the perfect day, or you want about the perfect summer day, the perfect Christmas, the perfect morning, anything like that. You're going to write about those. And it'll be a controlled thought. So if you're going to be writing about the perfect Christmas, that entire section will just be about Christmas, okay? So that's kind of the goal. These aren't typical journals where I give you a really defined prompt. They're a little bit more open-ended because these are going to be used to test your structuring of your writing, okay? It gives you a chance to kind of explore your own thoughts, but it also gives me a chance to look at, do you need to vary your sentence structure more? Are you struggling with a particular grammatical concept and that sort of thing? So that's what we're going to target. It says this is meant to be a good way to practice good writing techniques. So while informality is allowed, which means you can use I, you can use we, you can use even some informal language, but I want you to work on using proper grammar, spelling, and writing technique, okay? Please look over your stuff. Proofread it, all right? We're going to practice our proofreading. So you're going to receive 4 daily grades for this. So every other Sunday, I will look at the 2 weeks of work you should have amassed. So there should be 10 of these if we're in class every day. And I'm going to look at them, and I'm going to spot pick 2 of them usually, and I'm going to grade those. And I'm going to give you some feedback off of them. It may not be extensive, but I'm going to give you some notes off of those too. I'm not going to grade every single one of them. That's a lot to do, since every student I have that's in college prep or in regular classes, regular or honors classes will be doing this. That's close to 100 of these. I would have to, 100 students with 10 each, so close to 1,000 journal entries. That's just not possible. But I will spot check some, and your grade will be given off of that. Now, understand that means that if you choose not to do some of them and I spot check those, you may end up with a lower grade than you think you deserve. If you've got 10 of them and I picked 2 and you didn't do those 2, that's a 0. Okay, even if you did the other 8, it doesn't matter. Okay, and there's no reason for you to say that's not fair, because you're being told now what is expected. Okay. I also want to point out that I may look through all the responses. I may glance at them just to see, because I'm interested in you. I'm interested in learning more about how you think. I'm just only going to grade a couple of them. Okay. These are your journals, guys. You feel free to write out what you want. Just let's keep it school appropriate. That's important to me. And also realize that if you do have anything in there that I think is legally requires me to mention it to the office or even further up, I will. Okay. I need you to know that this is not something that you can just write about, something abusive that happened. I will have to report that. So please remember that. Okay? All right, there's also these instructions. There's a little bit about why we journal. You can read that if you're not fully on board, but I want you to know this is a really useful thing for you. Even if you hate writing, I think this will work. Okay? It'll allow us to get some more writing out of you and allow me to get some more feedback to you than just the papers we do once a quarter. I think this is going to be a really useful thing. It's also easy points if you just do it. Don't wait till the last minute. Get it done, okay? Let's look at something else. The other thing that's a little different is going to be our other 4 daily grades, which are going to come from reading notes. And again, we have some instructions here that are the same as what you've seen kind of from the last one, all right? I'm going to give you some questions like we've always seen on our agenda. For like week 1, if we were reading a certain thing, there were some questions there. We would never really do anything with them. I just told you to know them for the test. Well, now we're going to actually answer these things, okay? There's no defined length for these, so please don't ask me how long they have to be. They have to be answered, okay? Sometimes they'll take longer than others. Make sure that when you provide anything that's opinion-based, that your actual opinion is detailed, that you're not just randomly saying things. You need to completely explain your beliefs, okay, and your feelings. Again, spot checked. They're due the same time. Every other Sunday, these will be due. And again, I will, spot check your stuff. If you have any questions about them, whether they're correct or not, please come see me. I want you to know you're always welcome to do that. I've had several of you, while I'm filming this, come by the door and peek in here. You have to let me know ahead of time if you want to come by and see me after school, because otherwise I may be doing videos. So you need to make sure that is a thing. Make sure you schedule with me, okay? Let me give you an example. And this is just going to be from the 12th grade, so any of my sophomores that are watching this, these aren't your questions, but they work the same way, all right? So right now, we go to weekly agenda. To start, we're in week 19, okay? Let's take that away, and let's go to our first day that had questions. For my 10th graders, this is Macbeth, Act 1. And if you'll notice these questions here, now first of all, if it's not a question, if it's just a statement, you don't have to fill anything out. But anything with a question mark, I need an answer to. So it says, like for example, what does the line fair is foul and foul is fair suggest about the nature of reality? So you'll actually provide a response to that. That one takes about a sentence or 2. It's not a very extensive answer. Some of these look like there's a lot there. Some of them will require more than 1 sentence, but for the most part, they're going to be around 1 sentence, okay? Now, that being said, I will go over these in class, not word for word. I may not say, okay, what odd predictions do the witches assign to Macbeth? I may not do that, but in the discussion, they'll come up. The trick for you is to do these while we're in class, okay? While we're discussing it. That helps you pay attention. It keeps you off of your phone. It keeps you from talking to the person next to you, which some of you are very guilty of, and to focus on what we're doing in class. Because if not, you're going to have to do them outside of class. There's not questions every day, but there are frequent questions, okay? So just know those are on there, all right? So for this class, they have them Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then there was a project we were going to work on Friday. So 3 of the days you'll have that. The next week, there's probably 2 because there's 5 acts of Macbeth. So there's 5 total questions. So I'll spot check 2 or 3 of those. And again, I'll put some notes out there if you lose points so you'll know what you need to work on, okay? That's it for grading this quarter as far as daily grades. You'll have the participation grades, which those of you working from home the entire quarter, or if you're quarantined, you won't get that particular one. You'll only get those if you're in class. The other 8 grades are going to be from journals for 4 and for reading notes for 4, and that's it. That's what you're going to be graded on. You'll have 3 test grades that will also contribute to your overall grade, but this way I'm able to give more feedback instead of just more grades, which I think is more important, to be honest with you. So this is just, again, a little note for those of you who weren't in class. Most of you in class already heard this. There's no reason for you to watch it. For those of you who are working from home, please be sure to glance over this, all right? Okay, guys, well, thank you for your time. Let me switch back to my video program, which isn't up. And I'm going to stop here, but those of you who are working from home the entire quarter, I'm going to miss you. I hope you're back for fourth quarter. I hope things settle down and you feel comfortable coming back. I'd love to see you. Those of you who don't and are going to be out for the whole semester, good luck. I think you can do this. And I'm going to miss you, but I also understand the situation this year. So please email me with any questions. Do not just sit there and not do the work because you feel like you're confused. Ask questions. And guys, I can't stress this enough. This first semester, we let the whole I'm going to turn this in super late slide. Doesn't work that way this time. You need to complete your work on time. You can do that. Those of you who've chosen to take this time off should be responsible enough to complete it in a timely fashion. I expect from the kids in class, the same is expected from you, okay? All right. Well, best of luck, guys, and I hope to hear from you in email at least at some point, if not see you physically at some point. All right, guys, take care.